hold up. Let's just look at this comment. Yes, I think they are close friends. It's the people who assume they're madly in love because they enlisted together and filmed a show for work. This is the part that gets me. Forget about all that. This is the part that gets me. They aren't even the closest in the group. They aren't even the closest in the group. Julie, are you okay? Julie, are you okay? Sorry, maybe if I look at this comment from a different angle, it's gonna read differently. Nope, it still says they aren't even the closest in the group. It's still there. Oh my God, Julie. Julie, what? What do you mean? What do you mean, Julie? Julie, you have done it now. You have done it now, Julie. You have done it. You have done it. Oh my God. Let's talk about this. Let us talk about how Jikook are not even the closest in the group. Let's talk about it. Before I even go too far, I will address this moment that Julie is talking about because Julie thinks this is not a big deal. According to Julie, they're not the closest just because they enlisted together. Julie. First of all, every time you keep saying the show was for work, you sound like a Jikooker. It's giving Jikooker. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you're OT7 because you say that they're close friends. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But also OT7 have a habit of listening to Jikookers because now we've also started parroting them. They did the issue for work, are you sure for work, are you sure for work? Fine, whatever. But let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you something about them enlisting together. This was a choice, all right? This was a choice. They did not have to do it, Julie. They didn't have to do it. All the other members enlisted individually. They went and served as soon as they were done with work. They enlisted individually, just like they're supposed to. They didn't have to do this. This was not a must. They chose to. And that is the part that you're missing. Do you know that where they are serving is the most dangerous compared to all the other members? They are literally at the border where the war happens. You know there's actual war happening in South Korea. Jikook are very, very close. They're very close to where the war takes place. But that's the only place that they could be accepted for buddy system. So they risked going to one of the most dangerous places to enlist just so they could be together. They did not have to. And you're going to sit there and say that them enlisting is not proof that they're the closest in the group. Bro, they could have gone in with V or RM since the four of them waited until the last minute, but they didn't. They chose each other. Why? Because they are the closest in the group. But let's move on. And yes, by all means, let's talk about the show. The show you people keep saying was for work. Because, anyway, this show, they could have chosen to do it with anybody. They did not have, again, they didn't have to do it together. Like Jikookers love to say, Jimin interrupted JK when he was busy to force him into doing Are You Sure? You know what? They do make it's a rubbish point, but it's a point. JK was like very, very busy. He was right in the heat of Golden, performing and doing all the stuff, but he still made time to do Are You Sure? So Jimin could have done this show with literally anybody else. RM and V were not busy. He could have done them with, he could have done the show with RM. He could have done the show with V. So why did he have to do with JK, who was in the middle of Golden, who was busy? He didn't have to. JK could have said no and told Jimin to do it with somebody else. And Julie, let me remind you that these two members that you claim are not the closest did not want guests in their show. They wanted the show to only be just them. Something they kept repeating, that this is just our show, no guests. Receipt. When V came, he said, so am I the first guest on this show? And JK replied, you might be the first and the last one. So this show is just going to be Jikook. And don't forget, at the end, JK said he wanted to do more 12 seasons of a show that's just them. We don't know if they're going to change their minds or if they're going to do 12 seasons, but the fact of the matter remains that Are You Sure is a Jikook show, something they made very, very clear. Why? Because they're the closest in the group. Now, Julie, It appears to me that you're not aware of something called satellite Jion, which is honestly a shame and doesn't make sense if you're really OT7, because Taekookers are the ones in the fandom who never know what's going on with anybody in BTS apart from the two that they ship. They never know anything else. That's why they're always saying, oh, Taekook only do this with each other, only do this with each other, which is not true, because you're going to find out they do a lot of things with other people. So the fact that you don't know who satellite Jion is a bit concerning to me, Julie, considering you're going to stand there and say they aren't even the closest in the group. You have no right to say that until you have gone and done your research and find out what satellite Jion means, what teleport Jion means. That's your homework for today. If you're going to stand there and judge Jikookers, I'm giving you homework. Go search satellite Jion or teleport Jion, which, by the way, is set like Jikook. So I've given you homework, but I'm going to help you a little bit, okay? You go to Google and search for BTS. When you search for BTS, their images are going to pop up. And when that happens, this is what you're going to see. Something to note. If BTS are not standing in their official lineup, 90 to 80% of the time, this is what you're going to find. Who are sitting next to each other? The two closest members of the group. Okay, Julie, pay attention. This is the most recent OT7 photo that we have. Look at that. Two closest members next to each other. This is the official lineup. It's supposed to be the official lineup, by the way, but they have ruined it. They've ruined it just so they can stand next to each other. Something you will notice they do quite often. Something else that's recent, would you look at that? The two closest members are close to each other. Julie, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. Do you see that? Do you see it? Thank you. Once again, two closest members. There we go. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. You think I'm making this up? Do you still think I'm making this up? When they went to see the president, crotch on crotch. There you go. Two closest members of the group. Once again, there we go. Julie, Julie, do you see this? Closest members of the group. Julie, I said, do you see the closest members of the group? Julie, open your eyes. Do you see this, Julie? Open your eyes. Do you need glasses, Julie? If you need glasses, get them. Put them on. Look at that. Look at that. All this is on Google. I've not edited. I've not done nothing. All I did was looking up, and you can do the same. Closest members of the group. Like, they did not need to be standing that close. Jikookers like to play this game called Spot the Couple, because look at this space here. There's room. There's room, but Jimin has to... Look at that. There's room here, too. There's room here. There's room here. But what are they doing? Squashed together. Again, something that happens quite a lot. Quite a lot. Julie. Closest members of the group. Julie, come on. Sing the fan chant with me. Let's go. Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin, Min Yoongi, Yang Hosak, Park, Kim Taeyang, Park... No, see, they've ruined the fan. What did I tell you? They are ruining the fan chant. They ruined the lineup. They've ruined the fan chant. Now you and me could not even do the fan chant because they keep doing this. They always ruin the fan chant, and we're here like, you know, Yang Ho Sak, Kim Taeyang. No, it's not. It's supposed to be Park Jimin, but the closest members of the group just had to stand next to each other. Julie, do your research. Go to YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Threads or Blue Sky or Facebook. Wherever you choose to go, search for satellite Jion. If you truly are not an auntie, before you judge us, go search for satellite Jion, and you're gonna see why Jikook are the two closest members of the group. Did you know even in Run BTS they cheat? They cheat just so they can be in the same team. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. Why do they do that if they are not the closest members of the group? Julie, please know better next time than to say something so slanderous. That is slander. Slander.